Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and supposedly they had tension with each other this offseason, and it might possibly go into next season because, as we saw last year, the Eagles had a pretty underwhelming year, although they, of course, won the NFC East again, which was not the best division overall, actually. But you saw there was tension last year with the A.J. Brown situation, with Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, and a lot of people were at his head all year with his scheme and the way that he was running the offense, with Jalen Hurts and his lack of consistently throwing the football. Saquon Barkley was not as explosive as he was the year before, where he rushed for close to over 2,000 yards and almost broke Eric Dickerson's record. They're saying in right now that Jalen Hurts and the coaching staff are not getting along. They clashed a lot over the offensive scheme, and Jalen Hurts was changing play calls on his own and was not listening to the coaching staff, and that's a very tough one. Nick Sirianni, supposedly they were not getting along, him and Jalen Hurts, and it's just a very tough situation in Philadelphia right now, and a lot of things are going on, and on deep throws over 10 yards. Jalen Hurts last year was 35.7%, 10 for 28 on his attempts, which was just not good at all. And he ran less than before last year. Because remember when he was that dual threat quarterback, when he was an MVP candidate a couple years ago, and the Eagles got to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs, he was having a really good year. He led the league in rushing touchdowns, and he was a very tough player to cover because it was hard because it's hard for a defense to chase a quarterback who can go out there and run and make his own plays with his legs. And last year, for some reason, he just didn't want to run the football, and they were a lot more easier to defend and scheme against last year. And A.J. Brown, with his issues, he had a lot of drops, and they weren't connected as they should have been going into the season. And yeah, man, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And I think this time, if they don't get it done this time, I think you got to put some blame on Jalen Hurts. I get it last year with the Kevin Patullo stuff, like I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But there was a lot of times where Jalen Hurts just did not deliver, because we saw that game against the Chargers. Remember that game against the Chargers? He turned the ball over 5 times, and there were some throws there where I was just like, bro, like you're missing some easy ones. You gotta connect on those throws, and he was just way off target. So I think he needs to go out there and do good with this new offensive coordinator. They got to be on the same page, and Jalen has to go out there and deliver, because if he doesn't get it done this year, people are going to really start to question if he indeed is the quarterback for the future.